Hey there, this is Marissa with Marissa Moments, and welcome to the Readings That Heal podcast with Words of the Week, where you might get triggered into seeing your own reflection, but it's to reconnect you to yourself and awaken the divinity within. So prepare for laughs, resonance, and accountability through true stories, channeled messages, and everything in between. So I hope you're ready, because here we go. Okay, so I hope you're ready for this prophetic word, because it hit me like a ton of bricks. Now, the word of the week is pretend, right? Now, we can switch the word of the week in this episode between pretend and weak or weakness, right? Now, follow along, because you might be triggered. Here's the thing, right? God put this message on my heart so strong because lately I've been crying a lot. And there's no blame or shame or anything like that behind tears. Now, I have to say that because that's a self-judgment that I'm putting out there. I'm not a crier. I don't like to cry. It makes me personally feel weak. However, it is not a sign of weakness. Let's acknowledge that straight out the gate. But that's not what this is about. This isn't necessarily about your tears unless you want it to be, right? The message here is, why do we pretend to be weak? Why do we pretend to be weak? Just like I said in the preface, tears do not equate to weakness, right? Oftentimes, what Spirit is saying is that you pretend to be weak just so that you can be more palatable to those around you. You feel like you have to not even just pretend to be weak, but pretend to be inferior is what I receive on my heart right now. You pretend not to know the things that you know. You pretend not to do the things that you do. You pretend not to go the places that you go in order to make someone else feel better about themselves. But God is saying, listen, you're not doing anyone any favors, let alone yourself. Because every time you pretend to be something that you are actually not, one, you're doing a disservice to God, because guess what? God, Gaia, ancestors, angels, and saints made you the way that you are for a reason, gave you the blessings that you have for a reason, not just the season, for a reason, right? Because even if you have a blessing within a certain season, there is always a reason behind it. And it is not for you to negate it. It's not for you to diminish it. It's not for you to pretend that it didn't happen in order to make someone else feel better about themselves. Because guess what? The reason why we are meant to share our blessings, and I'm not saying you got to give over some money, right? I'm talking about verbally share our blessings, give our testimonies, is because that is inspirational to the next man. And it lets him or her know, or they know, that they have the potential to do the same. Right? Because we are reflections of our neighbors, of the people that we cross paths with. So when someone tells me that they won the lottery, you know what? I'm going to clap hard, because I know, thank God. Not only am I happy for that person, but I am thinking, you know what? Maybe I need to go pick up a lottery ticket, because if they won, then I have the potential to win as well. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and buy a lottery ticket. Please don't mishear this message. The bottom line to this message is stop pretending. Stop pretending. Stop diminishing yourself. Stop shrinking for the sake of another. Now, it took me a long time to understand this notion, because I was like, you know what? There's so many people that I've come across, and for a great part of my life, that I can read on them that they crave the spotlight. I mean, they crave it, right? So what happened was, I learned to diminish my own light in order to let them have what they craved so badly. And in doing so, I did a disservice to myself and to God, because guess what? God, Gaia, ancestors, angels, and saints, universe, whoever you want to refer to, it's fine. It's your walk, your faith, walk in it. But for me, God gave me this light, right? Gave me the ability to bring joy to other people through my humor, through my silliness, through my quirkiness, right? Through the things that I say that I just come off the top of my head, but typically I would diminish it. I wouldn't say the things that come on my head, because I don't want to steal the shine from someone else. But guess what? You're not stealing the shine from someone else. You're just being yourself. You're being who God created you to be. So each time you say, when somebody talks about how they wish they could go on a vacation and you bite your tongue because you know that maybe you have a vacation coming up or you just went on one, you're doing yourself a disservice. Share your happiness, share your blessings. And guess what? Let's take that even further. If the people around you are not able to accept or absorb or appreciate your blessings, not to say that they need to do a back bend, a triple handstand, or whatever it's called, not say that they have to do all that. But if they brush over your blessings, then maybe they aren't the people for you, right? Or maybe it just takes them a little bit longer to process, but that's for you to discern. You know your people. You know the people that you associate with. If at the end of the day, if at the end of the conversation, you feel some type of way and you feel like, you walk away from it not feeling good, then that might be the message that you need to receive, right? That you need to start enlarging your circle. Enlarging that circumference of friends in which you cling on to, right? Because the people that you associate with should not put you in a position where you feel you have to what? Pretend. We're talking about pretending, y'all. For me, I've often pretended to be weak. Now, listen, I am far from weak. I'm small, but I'm not weak. I'm very strong. Now, this isn't a commercial about me, but again, if I wouldn't speak my truth, then I'd be diminishing myself. The truth is I've survived, not only survived, but thrived through many things that have inspired many other people, right? You heard my story about how I hemorrhaged 8 liters of blood, and yet here I am. You've heard the story of the 13 centimeter wide hernia that had I didn't tell all this part, but let me tell you the ... to be continued. Yeah, when I had the hernia, my intestines were hanging out. The only thing that kept them in my body was my skin. I had to wear a faja, and if you don't know what that is, a girdle, in order to keep them in, to retract them. And I still look like I was about 7 months pregnant because of this huge hernia. Right. And for my U.S. people, look up 13 centimeters into inches. I don't remember what it is, but it's a lot. And then use your hand or use a ruler and put it right across your abdomen and see how wide that opening was. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it wasn't what it was supposed to be. Right. But yet here I am. Not only did God put me in a position, to get the surgery that was necessary to correct this huge problem, but God put the surgeon in position when I had that delivery, when I hemorrhaged 8 liters of blood in order to help me survive, to have that emergency surgery, in order to have that extremely quick blood transfusion that saved my life. And that's not even to mention in a separate incident, how I survived getting hit in the back of the head with a ice brick that fell from a 3-story building. Right? Let's think about that for a minute. There are so many other incidents that I just honestly I forget about because that's why I call it Marissa moments, because odd things just happen. Right? I've been under threat. I've been under attack. And I'm talking about verbal, physical, emotional attack, right? And I'm sure you've been the same. But let's get back to the word of the week. We're talking about pretend. We're also talking about weak or weaknesses, right? Because we need to stop pretending to be things that we aren't. And also, too, what Spirit just puts on my heart right now is it's okay to not know things, right? We don't have to pretend to be more than what we are in that moment. Because, sometimes we might have a conversation with someone and they talk about like politics or a word that we've never even heard. And then we're just like, we just kind of let them keep going. Now, listen, know your audience, right? If you don't feel like you want that person to go into a whole 15-minute tirade or spiel on the origins of politics or the Democratic or Republican or the whatever Green Party, whatever it is out there, then you know what to do, right? Read your audience. But at the same time, what I received to share with you is you don't have to pretend to be knowledgeable in an area that you are ignorant in. It's okay to be ignorant. We are all ignorant in certain areas and aspects of our life. But guess what? If we pretend to already have that knowledge, then we will never truly learn. right? It's okay to say, I don't know. Those 3 words are not kryptonite to humans. It's also okay to apologize. I am so sorry, right? Or I'm sorry. You ain't got to be so sorry. I am sorry. You don't have to pretend to be above an apology. Now we're talking about pretending, because at the end of the day, God, Gaia, ancestors, angels, and saints have formed you in this very moment that you are listening to my voice to be exactly who and how you are. Now, that does leave room for advancement, ascension, and all those types of things. But if you don't allow yourself to have that acceptance in the moment, if you allow yourself to continue the pretense of being something or someone that you're not for the sake of those who surround you, then you will never fully and truly be able to walk into your blessings that have already had your name on it. But you know what? I've already gone on and on for over 10 minutes. So I hope that you are getting this message and you're able to integrate it into your spirit. And the next conversation that you have with a person, when you have that inclination to pretend, I hope that you remember these words and decide to flip that proverbial switch in your mind and in your heart and start speaking your truth. Okay? So we have to stop pretending. And again, this isn't just about you. This is about me. This is about we. This is about the collective. If you're hearing my voice, if you're listening to this message, that means that you have some healing to do, as we all do. No one is perfect. And if you're perfect, you're probably not listening to me, right? Or if you consider yourself perfect, if you're pretending to be perfect, then maybe if you're pretending to be perfect, you definitely need to hear this message, because we all have room to grow, right? And it is okay to let that armor down every now and then and show your truth, because the entire world is not against you, right? They might be against who you pretend to be, but they're definitely not against you. God wouldn't set you up that way. But anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for listening. And when this message resonates, then that means it is for you. And if not, that's cool too. Just keep it pushing. Or I like to also add in, if this resonates for someone that you are associated with. Now, of course, use your discernment, use common sense. Share this message with them, but share it in a way that is loving. Don't share it in a hardcore like, you a pretender, you fake, you phony, right? We're not doing that. We're not putting people on blast just to put them on blast so that we can feel better about ourselves, right? We're sharing this message with people who are open to learning, open to healing, open to receiving that message that they need within their spirit. Okay. And, of course, as always, there is a new podcast put out every single Monday morning, 5:55 a.m. Central Standard Time, United States. And there isn't a huge archive of previous messages. Look me up everywhere you are on social media. But when you look me up, make sure that you look up Marissa Moments. And that is Marissa with one S, because like I always like to say, there is only one me. Now, as a side note, on Instagram, I got kicked out of my Marissa Moments account. Yeah, boo. I don't have any sound effects, but boo. So I got kicked out of my original Marissa Moments account. So now find me at New Marissa Moments on Instagram only. If you have any questions, just go to my website. I'll have every single account linked there. And I hope to see you. I hope you friend me. I hope you follow me. I hope you reach out to me. And I hope you have the best day ever. Again, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for sharing your healing with me. Thank you for walking with me in my personal healing journey. I wish you well. And until next time, happy healing.